Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So one of the most hyped things that happened in last Kabam stream was the effective reveal that there will be 6 powerful champions entering the 7-star roster. Now obviously the bittersweet moment in this entire situation is the fact that it will be effectively unit spending event, which will let you acquire these champions. But they will be in the game as 7 stars nonetheless. Therefore, immediately that does spark a significant speculation amount. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video. We're going to be speculating about the possible 4 remaining champions that will join Apocalypse and Nick Fury in this event. So that leaves us with the Science, the Tech, the Mystic, and the Cosmic class. I think Cosmic class is kind of the most hard to predict, but it is quite hyped still. Like 7-star Nick Fury, how cool is that? And it seems, by Kabam revealing us these 2 champions, that here they are working on effectively, well, number 1, drumming up the hype, but number 2, they're also showing us the type of champions that they are releasing, and they seemingly seem to be picking the champions that used to be at top of their very classes at one point or another, and have been gate kept as 6 stars thus far. So first, let's take a look at the Science class and go class by class, because obviously as with all the classes, majority of the champions are available 7 stars, but every single class Kabam has gate kept like 1, 2, 3, 4 top champions or champions that used to be the top. For instance, with Mutants, we still don't have 7-star Archangel. We are about to get 7-star Apocalypse only. There is still no 7-star Kitty Pryde. So that would make, let's say, 3 of the top 5 mutants at some point in this game that are not available as 7 stars. And also Magneto Red. So let's make it 4 out of the top 5 mutants at some point in this game. They're not out of the 7 stars. But here, obviously, we know it's APOC. And skill class as well, it's much of the same story as with all the other classes. We do not have Stealth Suit Spider-Man, that's out as a 7-star. We do not have Kate Bishop, whatever she was hiding here, that is as a 7-star. Where is that Kate? Here we go. No Kate as 7-star, no Stealth Suit Spider-Man, no Nick Fury up until now. We're going to be getting the Nick Fury, and no Kingpin. So again, that effectively showcases, let's say, 4 of the top 5 skilled champions, or 3 of the top 5 skilled champions at some point, and one of them is getting picked. So that immediately gives us quite a lot of expectation. And in Science class, these champions are effectively fairly straightforward. We do not have Human Torch as a 7-star, as he was one of the dominant Science champions for a very long time. We do not have, wait for it, where's that slippery little devil? Scorpion, available as 7-star. And then there are some other candidates, potentially I-Bomb, even though I never consider him to be as high on the list, or perhaps Mr. Fantastic, which I really personally do love, but I do not think he quite fits the bill. So I do not think it's going to be Human Torch or Mr. Fantastic for 2 reasons. Number 1, I do not think Kabam is going to release Human Torch ever, or for a very long time as a 7-star. And the reason for that is, if they could, at this point they would change or nerf Human Torch, because Human Torch was designed at the point before the Battlegrounds, and he was never intended to have access to No Flame every fight you use him in the game mode. It didn't even work like that in Alliance Wars, but with Alliance War, at the very least, there was a bit of tactic where, you know, several people brought in Human Torches and placed the pre-fights for one another and stuff like that. But fact of the matter is that for a long time he absolutely wreaked havoc in the game mode, and it was borderline unfair having him, because again, of those No Flames, nobody being immune to it, him accessing the quick ramp up against so many champions, and yeah, I genuinely do not think we're gonna see Human Torch. Scorpion, I think is more likely candidate. I genuinely think it's likely going to be Scorpion, because Scorpion was already designed at the correct time, and his damage output was always, let's say, he's not a champion that punches up very highly. He's never going to be like a massive nuke. And I do think he still, to this day, is just about perfectly designed science champion with lots of versatility, lots of immunities, fair few amount of abilities that let him, heal and modify the AI and so on and so forth. So I think he's an absolute powerhouse, but in much more controlled of a sense, similar to, let's say, Apocalypse. So my money would be on Scorpion. If it's not Scorpion, I think it could also be like I-Bomb, but more than likely, I don't think it's going to be Human Torch. I don't think it's going to be Mr. Fantastic. I think it could also be Cassie. That's another option. But I still kind of have a feeling that it's likely going to be Scorpion. So my vote in Science class is going to be locked in on Scorpion. Now let's take a look at the Tech class, and here we do have similar candidates as well. Like with all the other classes, Kabam has gate kept the 3-4 champions from the very top of the class that were up at the top at some point. Number one is obviously Fam. Fam is, I think, the most obvious candidate. But we do have Nimrod, who was like the king of techs for a while, who kind of dethroned Ghost, who was the king of tech class for a while as well. I think there's an argument made that every single one of these 3 tech champions was the best tech champion at some point in the game. And that, again, seemingly does fit the bill for these 3 champions. Now, there can be another alternate option, potentially with Vision. But again, I kind of feel like Kabam is aiming for more of the iconic champions that dominated their classes for a while, which is why I chose Scorpion, which is why I kind of have a gut feeling it's going to be Nimrod, even I do think that Fam is a better pick. I think Fam's top position was disputed a bit more, and I would like it to be Fam, but the gut feeling tells me it's going to be Nimrod, because Nimrod is, kind of like this symbol of destroying mutants in comics and in the game for a while as well. I don't think he has aged well. I do think he destroyed the mutant class so much that Kabam was effectively forced to bring in defensive counters to him, and now that there are, dusts running around and a whole other chunk of mutants that he can't really take, like Onslaught, for instance, that his role in the game is significantly smaller. But again, you can kind of say similar for APOC. I don't think APOC is necessarily going to make a massive impact on some of the game modes in the game. And yeah, I kind of feel like it's going to be Nimrod. Again, I think it could be Fam. I very much doubt it's going to be Ghost. I think Kabam has PTSD from Ghost. I do not think we're going to get Ghost in foreseeable future, similar to Human Torch, similar to Quake. And yeah, I would be leaning towards Nimrod here more than anybody else. And I think it could be Viv, I think it could be Fam, but it's probably going to be Nimrod, in my opinion. My guess. Right. So we took a look at Science, took a look at Tech, and now we need to take a look at Mystic. And Mystic, I think, is kind of easier to predict as well. We do have a few fairly big learning champions staring at us. I think Abs would fit the bill. I think he was one of the best Mystic champions for a while, and now he has obviously slid back because he doesn't exist as a 7-star, and he doesn't necessarily do what we need him to do as much as well. But he would obviously be a fine addition. Nothing against Absman at all. I think he's one of the bigger candidates there. But the obvious pick here would be Dr. Doom. And there would be people who probably say that he would be like too overpowered. At this point, I generally don't think so, though. And I can kind of explain. Because I think Dr. Doom is better, but similar position as APOC, where he is absolutely OP in his ability kit. But when it comes to answering the current problems, the current issues of the game and the current game modes, I don't think he would do that much damage. I think his biggest strength could potentially be like obviously questing an alliance war, because let's face it, Dr. Doom has never been like a massive Everest content champion, even though we used him in Abyss a lot, but you know, it took forever because we were spamming level 3s and it was fairly annoying. But he has never been like a massive Battlegrounds champion that wrecks the competition at all. So there's that one thing. He is quite popular in Alliance War, but and he was the most dominant in Alliance War, I would say. But when it comes to Alliance War, then we're going to be taking a look at the New Age, let's say, Cosmic Champions. Would Doctor Doom be amazing against Thanos? Not really, because you can't be, you know, putting Thanos in your Doom cycle if Thanos is going unstoppable all the time. So I don't think he's going to be amazing against Thanos, for instance. I don't think he's going to be amazing against Serpent. He can do the Serpent fight, kind of, but he will not be nowhere near the best Serpent counter. And it's going to be similar to quite a few other matchups, because we have the New Age defenders, the New Age champions that do require very kind of specific champion kits. And much of that Doom doesn't do or cover or would be unable to execute. For instance, you couldn't put Bullseye in a Doom cycle. You can't put Serpent in a Doom cycle, obviously. And you can do that to Photon, obviously. And many, many more champions. So I can actually see Dr. Doom getting released. I think it would be very hype. But I think Doom is kind of the obvious choice here, more in line with Nick Fury and APOC than Absman would be. Abs is more of a new generation type of champion that was climbing up the Mystic class and never really got to the top. Doom was steadily planted at the top of the class for quite a while. There's obviously Tigra as well. I'm significantly more skeptical on Tigra, because she again would be a bit more of a new age, new style type of champion. Nuke, and I do think Kabam would be more wary on releasing Tigra. And Tigra is, again, more polarizing champion. Not everybody likes her. Not everybody can use her. And, you know, she's fairly specific. Similar to Abs, by the way, where you do need to have, like, a fairly big skill cap. And if Kabam wants to have a mass appeal in this event, I think the smartest thing would be the release of Dr. Doom. I think that would make the most sense. I think it's quite hard, but still. And then Cosmic Class. And Cosmic Class is just impossible to guess, because what you're guessing in Cosmic Class is how far Kabam will go. Because there will be one of the two things happening with the choice of Cosmic Champion. Either Kabam is going to be taking it all the way, and they're going to generate an insane amount of hype for that specific event, and they're going to release one of the remaining Cosmic Kings. Or the Cosmic choice is going to be like the Sentry of the previous Glorious Guardians batch, where nobody wants to pull the Cosmic Champion because they're clearly less powerful than the others. The general consensus logic kind of states that they are going for the top champions of the class. And if that is true, then it has to be either CGR or Hulkling or Hercules. Kabam has said they will not be releasing Hercules unless he's changed, you know, pretty much ever. They have not said the same thing about CGR or Hulkling, but realistically, as a player, I can't see that happening. I'm very, very doubtful Kabam would do that. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I think there is a chance. I do not think they will do that. I think the most marketable and the most hype champion there would be CGR. I just don't think they will do that. I don't think they're going to go all the way in the event. Which leads me to think that it more than likely will be type of filler champion. Because other than those three, Kabam doesn't really have anything that has been atop of the Cosmic class and dominated. Aside from Ojitor very, 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 very early in the game. I do think Ojitor has a chance of being there. I think Ojitor is actually one of the better guesses. If you do not think Kabam's going to release CGR or Hulkling, I think Ojitor is potentially the best guess. There are few other options, but I think all of them are relatively unlikely. think aside from OG Thor, we could maybe see Annihilus. He's, but he's kind of like a middle of the pack, maybe upper mid. He can be annoying defender. He can be somewhat useful attacker situationally. Maybe he matches with today's metas a bit better, for instance. But it's just not the same level of a champion. And similar to Call Obsidian, he could kind of, I could see him being added. He's not, complete. But again, I don't think people would be hyped by that. And aside from that, we still have like Super Skrull. But again, Super Skrull is kind of like a mid-level champion. He was never good. So my prediction for Cosmic Glasses is that it's going to be kind of like the filler champion, the bad pull, the get unlucky type thing, or, get the least lucky, the least wanted choice. Or it's going to be Hulkling. Or CGR. I think CGR is more likely. But I don't think Command's going to do that. If they do, though, then it's going to be so goddamn high. So, those are my guesses. Science, I think it's most likely Scorpion. That would be my first guess. Tech, so I'm going to change the order, because I kind of wrote them in the order of likelihood. So I need, as I was making this video, I actually changed my mind on a few things. So I do think it's going to be Nimrod and then Fam. I would like Fam more, but I think Nimrod has better chance. And here as well, I do think it's going to be Doom most likely over Abs. Just because Doom does have that, prestige, that fame in the community, that hype factor. And then Cosmic, I really think it's more likely going to be Thor. I can't see it being Hulkling or CGR. I mean, it would kind of fit the bill of the rest of the choices, but I think Cosmic CGR would be just brutal. But who knows? Let me know what you guys think. Which champions would you guess for this upcoming event? But that's it for now, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the